welcome to the second installment of the Commissioner's Report. Just some news in the real world today. Manny Ramirez has signed with the Dodgers. 2 years, $45 million. I have a special guest here today, the GM of the Dirty Llamas, Jackson. Jackson, welcome to the show.
Hello, AL East, and glad I could be here with you today. For the first sit down with the commissioner.
All right. Let's go over some rumors first going around the league. Even though he's going to spend even though he's going to start the year in the minor leagues, Living XXL is going to hold on to Hut prospect Matt Wieters. He's had some offers for him. He's not caving. I would know. Another rumor is the commissioner, my team, is looking to improve in shortstop. So if you have any offers, make sure to put them on the board. Jack, I heard you had a couple rumors this week. You had a couple trade offers.
Yeah, well, I'd like to start my bid off. I need a second baseman. I have a trade out there waiting for a response. But other than that, so anybody who has a second baseman want to offer me anything, I'll be more than willing to listen. Also, there's a new addition to the league. I believe he goes by Philly Iron Pigs. And if you're out there, you know, you talked a big game. You're all over the message boards before even the draft. That was awesome. You show up in the draft. Looked like you had a solid draft going on. I thought it was going to be a solid addition. Then, starts slinging some slop around the leagues. Thinks he's playing with amateurs. Sends me a trade. Mike Napoli, the injured catcher out in LA. And Fred Lewis, the nobody he picked in the 27th round of the draft. For Brian McCann, the stud catcher. So I'm just going to put it out there, you know, if you're going to be in the league, that's awesome, you're more than welcome. But, you know, step it up. We're not amateurs, don't treat us that way.
Alright. Jackson always has something interesting to say. Right now, a new segment, Sit Down with the Commissioner. Jackson, I'm glad to have you as the first guest. And last year you had a good year for a lot of the year. You were about 500, right?
Although, no, I believe I finished in the top 3.
Right, after you streamed pitches most of the season, right?
Gonna bring up the streaming. In fact, I think I finished the season 14-6.
Okay.
So 500. Do you take that 500?
After streaming.
After streaming.
Alright, how do you feel about your team this year?
Well, I mean, like, were we gonna do the lineups first, or?
Sure, we'll do the lineups.
You know, let the people know who's on the team.
Alright. Let's take a look at the keepers from Dirty Llamas. He's got Brian McCann and BJ Upton, Ichiro Suzuki and Vlad Guerrero, Joakim Soria, BJ Ryan, and the lone starter, Ben Sheets. Overall, we have a very solid starting lineup for the Dirty Llamas. You have a lot of power and a lot of speed. Also, he's very proud of that bench he has. He calls them the Big Boppers, and hopefully they can find a place to contribute this season.
Alright, so that's the team, and pretty proud of it. You know, starting lineup. It's going to be strong and competitive every week. I really think every week I'll be a tough matchup, so that's pretty much all. I feel comfortable with that. My starting lineup's strong, but I think the main strength of my whole team is I won't have to worry about any injuries because I got my bench, which I'm calling AK the Big Dog Bench. On the Big Dog Bench, we have Ian Keel, Hafner, Gary Sheffield, Scott Rowland, Nick Swisher, and Big Dog Jason Giambi. A lot of home runs are going to be coming off my bench. I won't feel bad sticking them in there. Also, my starting lineup is going to consist of Lowe, Verlander, Harden, Pelfrey, Garland, Buchholz, and when he's healthy, the Ben Sheets. Also, I know you haven't forgotten about him. Billy, I have John Smoltz. You have Brad Penny. I hope you're okay with that. Clearly, one of us is going to be better than the other. My team. I guess I'll kick it back to the commission.
Alright, and who are you most proud of on your team this year?
To tell you the truth, I got a good snag with JJ Hardy. He's right now he's my utility man, my second utility man. Solid shortstop. I feel like he's a trading commodity because I also have Derek Jeter at my shortstop position. Right. So, you know, we'll see how the season pans out. But he could be just as good as Jeter. He could be in the starting lineup. We
saw a couple of years ago he had that power stroke too, something Jeter might be lacking now that he's getting a little older.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, maybe A-Rod can toss him some juice.
Speaking of juice, you have half of the I think you have half of the Mitchell report there on your bench with Giambi and Sheffield and.
Gotta let the big dogs eat. Gotta let the big dogs eat.
All right, Jack, a pleasure. Let's switch our attention now to Billy's team, Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, like Saturday Night Live, big joke.
Let's take a look at their lineup right now. One of the best keeper crops in the league, Sam Crow kept Joe Mauer and Albert Pujols, Beltran and Bay out in the outfield, Wright and Rodriguez, new Mets, and Dan Harron. With solid keepers, you're going to usually have a solid lineup, and that's what you have here. But there are some holes with Cabrera and Johnny Damon. The bench isn't very strong, but he's got some good pitches and hopefully can pull together a better season than he had last year. The guy I'd like to highlight is Francisco Rodriguez, making the switch from the Anaheim Angels to the New York Mets. Arguably the best closer in the league, Rodriguez saved a record number of games last year. He's going to New York, which we all know is a huge market, huge amount of pressure. It'd be interesting to see if the young arm could do it again. Obviously a record-setting season. You'd hate to put that on anyone's shoulders, but he's in New York and the spotlight's going to be on him. All right. Typically, Billy's teams are, typically pretty good. He had a good run in football this year. However, last year in baseball, he finished 9-13-1 and missed the playoffs by leaps and bounds. He did improve his team towards the end of the year, in my opinion, when he grabbed Albert Pujols. But I don't know how strong his draft was. It's questionable. The guy I like is David Wright over at third base. He can hit for power. He can run the bases. He's going to hit for average. Definitely one of the top third basemen in the league.
Yeah, he's potential to be MVP every year.
But other than that, I expect a fairly competitive season this year from Sam Crow or the Green Sox or whatever he's calling himself now. I know you have an opinion on the team if you want to toss that out there.
Yeah. It's typical. It's a typical Billy lineup where scraps together old middle-aged white guys, and
He's a Republican. He's a conservative.
Yeah, dirty, just dirty. And he's got a decent team and some big names in the lineup. But let's face it, at shortstop he's got Orlando Cabrera. Then he's got Torrey Hunter, Garrett Atkins. I mean, there's some solid holes in that lineup. I mean, Johnny Damon's in it. Who knows? I mean, he could have a huge. Johnny Damon can go either way. But the main thing I see when I look at his team, age and the worst bench in the league. He has no bench. His team's already got some holes. He faces injuries. He will not recover. Also, he has Brad Penny, the wannabe John Smoltz. That's fine. I hope he pans out. But yeah, typical Billy lineup. Nothing I would want.
A big guy on his team is Francisco Rodriguez. Last year he set the all-time saves record while he was out in Anaheim. Yep. Anaheim, always a competitive team, not really a huge market. How do you think K-Rod transitions from Anaheim to the Mets?
I mean, he was a big sign. The Mets are a good team, not a great team. They got a lot of saves. I hope he does. He's gonna be in the National League too. That's easier.
Right. Very
but
true.
he will be facing the ninth inning National League, so probably no pitches. But yeah, could have a big season. I'll go with that.
All right. I think that about sums it up here from the Commissioner's Report. You have anything else left to say, or?
No, I mean, I like my team. Billy Iron Pigs throwing slop around. Beware, buyer beware. And Billy's team's a joke again.
All right. Before we go, we'd like to send a big I miss you out to Drew. It'll be great to see you come July, come the All-Star break. I know Jackson echoes the sentiment. So
Drew, the major, our major, we miss you, buddy. Hope to see you soon. Can't wait.
All right, and just
wait, we're going to Florida for spring break. So I think actually, hopefully, I'll see you there if you come see us, or we go see you.
And actually, look out for another one either tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to Georgia next week, so there won't be a Commissioner's Report next week. But I'm going to try and get one more out before I go. So, Jackson, thanks for coming by.
Glad to be here, Commish. Glad to be here.
And this is the Commish signing out. I'll see you all next week.